This screencast will show you how to create a screencast using good design principles and the online screencasting tool, Screencast-O-Matic. In the sample presentation, Introduction to Theories of Learning and Instruction, that I've created for one of the courses that I teach at University of Houston, I have attempted to incorporate many of the design principles that Gar Reynolds presents in his book, Presentation Zen. For example, on this slide, there is one main idea, a compelling, high-quality graphic. The majority of the content is located in my speaker notes, and I even use some color in my text area to draw the eye to a particular word in the definition of learning, and that is change. Another design principle involves directing the eye toward the content that is presented on the slide. And I do that in this slide by just having one idea, first off. Secondly, I have the graphic character pointed, the face looking at that content. Same thing here. The graphic points up and towards the content that I'm interested in showing. And the majority of the text is in my speaker notes and not on the slide. Here is a sample slide that could have been 4 bullet points of the 4 major model families that I am presenting. But instead I chose to use a smart art graphic and to use different colors to show that they are 4 distinct families, and I discuss the models within my speaker notes. Again, instead of bulleting ideas relevant to the idea of teaching in an information society, I put the ideas in my speaker notes and I discuss those verbally as I show this slide on the screen. For any ideas that you need to cite, I recommend putting the citation, the in-text citation, at the bottom of the slide or the idea, or if you take a graphic from a website and you want to cite that on your slide, you can put that in small text on your slide, and then at the end of the presentation you can have the full reference. So that way you're taking up very minimal slide space. So I'm going to use this presentation to demonstrate how to create a screencast from this presentation. So I'm going to switch over to screencast-o-matic.com. It is a tool that can be run through the web browser. It's Java based, so you need to have Java installed on your computer. Or you can download an app to run on your computer to create the screencasts. I'm going to use the web-based version, and I am in Microsoft Internet Explorer, and I have already downloaded and installed the Java. So I go to screencast-o-matic.com, I click Start Recording, and it's going to check to make sure that I have Java installed, and then it gives me a frame with which I can adjust to resize to surround the recording area. It is currently set on 640 by 480. I'm going to adjust that so that I can cover my entire screen space. And then it's running. You can see it's running at the bottom. It has that dashed line in my icon on the bottom. That's my screen recorder, and you can see there is the menu bar for the screen recorder here, and you can choose your microphone. You can see that I have an external microphone plugged in with the brand name Plantronics, but you can also use the microphone that's built in on your computer, or you can use a webcam, and you just select that, and the webcam image would appear here. And you can see next to the microphone whether it's capturing or not. And I always check to make sure that my microphone is capturing before I start my screencast. So to start recording, you have the keyboard shortcut Alt-P. If you are using Windows, if you're using Mac, it's Option-P. And you can use that keyboard shortcut, or you can click the Start Recording button on the menu. It will give you a countdown, and now we are recording. So I'm going to start my, I'm going to start my presentation. Let me restart our recording here. I'm going to go ahead and get to my presentation. So that this slide is what shows when I start my recording, as opposed to the web browser. What is learning and how does it occur? This presentation will take a look at varying views on learning, the nature of knowledge, and the framework of teaching models. Learning is a persisting change in performance or performance potential that results from experience and interaction with the world. It can happen intentionally in formal instructional settings and incidentally through experience. Learning ranges from acquiring knowledge of simple facts to skill in complex procedures. Sometimes it happens easily, and sometimes with great effort. So as you can see, I have paused the recording, and I could continue on up to 15 minutes in Screencast-O-Matic, or if you're using another tool, you can record as long as it allows, but Screencast-O-Matic on the free version allows up to 15 minutes. And so once you're finished, then you can click Done. If at any point you want to start over and you click the pause button, you can just use the restart to start over. You can also pause and then restart, or start at the place where you stopped by using that record button. So I'm going to click Done, and it's showing me my preview, and if I click play I can see the preview of what my screencast looks like. If I wanted to go back and restart, I can click the back button. It doesn't allow you to do any editing in the free version of Screencast-O-Matic, so you got to do it right in one shot. So if you make a mistake, just restart and try again. Or use a tool that's more advanced that allows you to do some editing. But Screencast-O-Matic free version is just a one-shot, get it right the first time deal. Now you have a couple of options to publish. I'm going to show you how to publish to YouTube. So I'm going to click Publish to YouTube. You give your screencast a title. And some description. You can give it some tags if you'd like. You can choose the category. I typically will publish mine in education, but there are a variety of categories to choose from. Now initially you might want to make your video private if you plan to make it unlisted later on. If you plan to make it public, you can go ahead and choose public. I typically make my videos unlisted and then provide the links to my audience. But there are some times that my videos can be publicly viewable, so I will choose the public option. Without buying the Pro version of Screencast-O-Matic, there isn't the option to choose unlisted at this point, but you can always change it once it's been published to your YouTube account. So for this example, I'm just going to choose private, and then you would add your YouTube account. I have a YouTube account that's linked to my Gmail account. If you don't have a YouTube account, you would need to set that up first. To add a YouTube account, you just click Add, and it would launch your web browser, allow you to log in, and then bring you back to your screencast. It doesn't lose the content that you just recorded. And then it'll save that account for future recordings, so you won't have to do that step again. And then you upload to YouTube. And depending on how long your screencast is, will depend on how long the uploading and encoding part of your publishing your screencast to YouTube will take. This was a very short screencast, about a minute in length, and so you can see it is happening quite quickly. It also depends on your internet connection, if your connection is fast or slow. So now we are done with the encoding part. It's working on the uploading part, and it is done. It gives me the link to my screencast, so if I click on that, it will take me to my web browser. And it takes a little bit extra time to process your video once it gets to YouTube, so don't be alarmed when you see this screen. Once you click on your link, it'll be processed pretty quickly. And I just want to show you a couple of things before I reload the page so that you can see the screencast. This lock means that the video is private. If I click on it, it brings me down to the privacy option where I can choose unlisted here and save that. Now the lock is partially open. It shows me my title and description. If I mouse over it, there is a pencil. I can change the title or I can change the description. Under the share option, this gives me that link to my YouTube video. I like to use this link as opposed to the one up on the URL address bar because it's a shorter link. So that's what I use to share my video. So if I refresh this page, it should be done. And there's my video. Happy recording!